Morgan Dana Harrington was a 20-year-old Virginia Tech University student who was enjoying life to the fullest when she suddenly went missing. In 2009, Morgan and her group of friends went to see Metallica live in concert after already entering the venue. As the opening band started to play, Morgan decided she needed to run to the ladies' room. After she failed to return in time for the beginning of the big show, her friends got concerned and called her up. Morgan answered her cell phone and said she couldn't get back inside because the venue had a no re-entry policy. Her friends found this suspicious, as she didn't even need to leave the venue to go to the restroom, but she insisted everything was fine and that she was going to catch a ride home, so no one was particularly concerned at the time. Morgan didn't return home that night. The search to find her was meticulous and lasted several weeks. Witnesses say they had seen her outside of the concert venue, but no one knows why she decided to leave or where she was headed. A couple of weeks later, her body was found by a farmer, and evidence showed she had met a violent death. What the forensics never managed to answer, however, is who took her life, how she got into those circumstances, or why she separated from her friends in the first place. In 2002 in California, Evelyn Hernandez was found dead. Her body had washed up in the San Francisco Bay, with her torso cut open and the 9-month-old fetus she was carrying inside removed. Hernandez went missing 2 months prior, and the gruesome discovery of her body did not offer any answers to the circumstances of her death. However, the public widely speculated that her murder was connected to the murder of yet another pregnant woman, which occurred the same year. The highly publicized murder case gave way to wild theories about the murders being connected to satanic rites and devil-worshipping groups. The theories of both a serial killer on the loose and a satanic group were proven wrong when the husband of the other victim was found guilty and sentenced to death row, with the major suspect proven innocent of that particular crime. Hernandez's case was left a mystery. To this day, it remains unknown what exactly happened to her, how she met her end, or what happened to the baby she was carrying. Jonathan Luna was a reputable assistant United States attorney in Baltimore who met his strange and untimely death during an eerie night on the road. In December 2003, Luna got into his car and drove off, headed into the opposite direction of where he lived. Authorities were able to trace his erratic late-night movement thanks to surveillance cameras on toll stations. He had used his Easy Pass toll permit multiple times, withdrew money from an ATM, and eventually crashed into a creek. The incident was assumed a suicide until evidence to the opposite started piling up. Luna's lifeless body was found in the driver's seat, but what had killed him wasn't the crash, but the 36 stab wounds he had endured and suffered from during the entire night ride. The crime scene indicated that he had spent most of the drive in the back seat and that someone else had coordinated the crash. Still, there was no DNA other than Luna's found in the car, and the case remains a mystery to this day. Shannon Gilbert was an escort who disappeared in 2010 after claiming that her life was in danger. Shannon was at a client's house with her pimp waiting for her nearby when she suddenly ran outside, frightened and hysterical, claiming that someone was after her. She ran away from her pimp and erratically called the police and told them that someone was planning to murder her. In the early hours of the morning, she woke up a completely random man banging on his door and screaming that she needed help, but ran away from the man shortly after he promised to keep her safe and call the police. Shannon disappeared into the night, never to be seen alive again. Her decomposing body was found in a marsh not far away from where she was last seen, and the official cause of death was an accident. Based on the evidence, the police assumed that in her hysteria, she tripped and fell to her death. What was making her so frantic and why she was so frightened that night remains a mystery. Eliza Lamb's body was found in a water tank above the Hotel Cecil, a dodgy place with a bad reputation. Lamb's death was ruled out as an accidental drowning, but the facts render this initial ruling ridiculous. Lamb's last hours were caught on camera. She ran into an elevator and pressed all the buttons, but the door wouldn't close. She seemed to be perplexed and afraid, hiding from someone in the elevator, periodically peeking through. When she finally leaves the elevator, which refuses to start moving, she is seen seen gesturing to someone off camera. She crouches and walks away contorted, never to be seen again. She was found in the water tank, which is hidden away behind several locked alarm doors. Moreover, in order to discover her body, the authorities had to drill a hole in the tank to get to her. It's evident that she couldn't have accidentally got there, and it's unlikely that she went through so much trouble to commit suicide. Still, no explanation anyone could come up with is plausible. Her death remains a mystery to this day, with the eerie video of her last hours haunting everyone who has seen it.